Hey guys, hello Bella. Welcome to my October monthly reset video. This video is going to be where I share all of my goals for October, and I also reflect back on the month of September, focusing on what I did right this month, what I didn't accomplish, and what I want to do in the next month. So October is my birthday month, which means that I'm going to spend a lot of time reflecting and sort of trying to realign myself with what I really want out of life this month. I think it's important to kind of look at yourself, especially around your birthday, and say, this is my only life that I've got to live, so how do I want to live it? I've said before, but I think that planning an hour per month for your goals is a life-changing thing, because when you sit down and focus on what you want your priorities to be and you write it down and you get concrete about what you actually want out of life, that is a great way to propel you towards success in those goals. Because if I don't write things down and I don't prioritize them and I don't give myself benchmarks, then it's very unlikely that I'm going to meet any of my goals. So I am a 27-year-old, almost 28-year-old entrepreneur. I run an Amazon business selling on Amazon, and I also sell on eBay, and I'm basically just a full-time reseller. I work from home and control my own time, so that is something that I'm very thankful to be able to do. But one of the things about working for yourself is that you are the one who has to hold yourself accountable. So in this video, I will kind of go over what I did not accomplish and what I did accomplish, and I want to focus on, not being too hard on myself, but also kind of asking those questions like, why did you not do that? Did you not have enough time? Did you not make it a priority? Is there a reason that you're avoiding it? Things like that can make me honestly ask myself why I did or did not do something for the month. So first we're going to review my September goals, and then we're going to look at my September budget. And after that, we're going to go into my October goals, and we're finally going to look at my favorite things for the month, which is just kind of like a fun little section for you guys. So as we get into September, I will say that for most of the month, I did not set a lot of big goals, but I did feel like I was overall successful this month, and I wanted to give myself a score of a B. And overall, I think that the things that I didn't get done weren't a super priority. They just were something that I neglected to do. I was on vacation for 9 days out of the month. So I went on a Caribbean cruise with my boyfriend. We went to Haiti, Curacao, and Aruba, and we had a wonderful time. We spent time snorkeling, hanging out in the ocean. We saw stingrays. I saw an eel. I stepped on a sea urchin and had to pry it out of my foot. So it was an exciting vacation, and we had a lot of downtime and just time to relax as a couple, and really made some great memories together. And I'm looking forward to a lot more trips in the future. So with that being said, I only had about 21 days this month to get everything done. The first thing that I accomplished was to finish 2 books. I finished a book about estate planning, and it was overall kind of boring, and I wish that I would have just watch some YouTube videos, but I guess I felt like I needed to educate myself on the matter. One of my major goals that I did not get done this month was to make an appointment with an estate planning attorney so that I can craft some sort of will, because I need to figure out, where does my house go if I die, and where does the money in my bank account go if I die. And I realize that that's sort of a morbid thing to think about, and nobody probably wants to think about it, but if you're being a responsible adult and you want to be kind to your loved ones and make things easy for them, it's just something simple that you can do in order to get ready for hopefully a thing that never happens. So the other book that I finished was The Hate U Give, and that was a really good book. It was sort of like a teen novel, but with a focus on, I would say, historical fiction at this point. It was about a girl who was in a car with her friend, and he gets shot and killed by the police, and she is reliving sort of the days after the incident and kind of being a witness to the whole situation. And I really liked that book. I felt like that was a good book for me, especially considering I've read a lot of social justice books and a lot of books about wrongful incarceration that I've read lately, and it's really just kind of helped shape my thought process on what it comes to, the judicial system and the biases that we face, especially in a state like Alabama, where so many things are still racially motivated and just racially biased in terms of punishing Black people. So I feel like it was a good book for me to read this month. I'm also reading this book. It's called A History of Present Illness, and it's actually a really morbid book. I found it while I was on the cruise. It was in the cruise library, and I left the book that I was reading and took this one home with me. I'm almost finished with it. It's about a doctor who has like really bad anxiety, and she's just talking about what it's like to be in the medical care system and kind of like the depressing side of things. I'm not sure that this was a great book to read, but anyways, I picked it up and I'm almost finished with it. So I guess that says something about whether or not it is interesting or not. One of the main reasons that I am setting the book goal for myself is that I feel like with all the distractions of my phone, it's really important for me to be able to focus on like lengthy concepts, like reading chapters at a time, and putting away the screen and being able to focus on something is very important for me. The next thing that I accomplished was hanging out with my little from Big Brothers Big Sisters. I still have a little. A lot of you guys asked me if I'm still a big sister. I am. We're going on 2.5 years of hanging out together, and we went to the fair. We actually rode a bunch of rides and hung out at the fair, ate some fried Oreos, and it was just a really good time. I enjoy hanging out with her, even though she's getting a little older and I'm a lot less cool now. We still have a really good time together. Another goal I set was to have fun on my cruise. And it seems like that's kind of a silly thing to set as a goal, but honestly, I wanted to be in the right headspace for my trip, and I feel like I did that. I stayed calm in the midst of anything that went wrong, and we really didn't have any major issues on our trip. I was thankful that everything went smoothly. I feel like with this being my third cruise, I knew a little bit more about what to expect and what to do. The next thing that I did was to help throw a wedding shower for my best friend. She's getting married, and I'm going to be officiating the wedding, so I have a pretty big role to play when it comes to planning. We actually did a shower for her. We made like a balloon arch. We had a pretty good turnout at the shower. I cooked some different things. I think I made a buffalo hot wing dip, and I also made some pumpkin dip, and I really just felt like it was a good shower. It was fun. Everyone who came had a good time, and it was really a laid back shower. I feel like the atmosphere was just friends and getting to catch up with everyone, so I'm really glad that we got to do that together. The next goal I set was to continue working on my Amazon business by sending in new inventory and finding new ways to source products. So basically just sort of trying to pivot with my business in order to make myself as profitable as possible. I feel like I'm working towards that, but I feel like there's always growth in business and there's always ways that I could change things up to be better. Right now I don't have a lot of focus on that business, but I mean honestly, sometimes I work on it a lot, sometimes I don't work on it at all. It just depends on my mood and what I've got going on in other areas of my life. One thing about being financially secure is that you don't have to, work all the time in order to, make money and worry about things like that. You can kind of just take it as it comes. So when I am interested in a business idea or I'm interested in a concept, I'll pursue it. If not, I just kind of let things run smoothly. I will continue to sell on Amazon and eBay to make a living, but right now it's more or less a way for me to make a living, not something that I put all of my time and energy into. My next goal was to continue counting calories and to stick to around 1,900 calories or less per day, but not to stress about it while I'm on my vacation. It was very important to me to be able to not be dieting while I was on the trip because I just did not want that stress. I wanted the break because I knew that, when we take breaks, we usually come back fresher, we come back more motivated, and I really feel like that's been true. I've been doing really good since we got back. I did start a new medication called Ozempic, and I do have a video about that, but since being on that medication, I've really found that my appetite and my cravings have went down significantly, and I feel like it's been easier to stick to my diet. So I will continue doing that in the month of October, but I'm not going to be a stickler about it. I'm more or less just counting calories to be observant about what I eat and to kind of have a pattern for each day, where I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and some snacks throughout the day. All right, moving on to the things that I did not accomplish. So I did not set up a fish tank. I wanted to get a betta fish tank and I just did not make time to do that. It's not a major priority in life. Obviously, it's another thing that I would have to take care of. We already have 3 dogs and a yard to maintain and a business to run. So obviously it's just not a big goal of mine to get a fish, but I guess I thought it was something that I could potentially do this month, but it just did not wind up happening. I'm fine with it. Okay, my next goal was to work out 7 times. The reason I set the goal as 7 was because I calculated that I was gonna have about 21 days in the month that I was gonna be home. I only worked out 3 times, so I did not even meet half of my goal. I cannot tell you how many times I have, got out of the habit of going to the gym and just quit going for weeks and weeks, and I really don't want that to continue, so I feel like I'm probably going to go back to the gym this week. I actually, in the fall, I tend to go and walk outside. I live about 10 minutes from a local park that has a walking trail, so typically I'll go to that walking trail 2 or 3 times a week and walk for about an hour, and that is, my exercise for the day. So I think I'm going to get back into that, and just with the crisp fall air and, all the different changes in the weather, it's a good time to to go outside and get some fresh air before it gets too cold outside. All right, as I said before, I wanted to set up something with an estate planning attorney. I did not do that. I also wanted to look into getting a retirement account, so some kind of tax deferred way that I can give myself money before I pay taxes on it, like a SEP IRA, self-employed IRA, or something of that nature. And I just don't know enough about it yet to set it up. So I think that what I'm gonna have to do is watch some tutorials on YouTube and possibly talk to my CPA about it. I've asked multiple CPAs what they think is the best thing, and I get a lot of different answers. So if you know something about that, like if you're self-employed and you have some kind of retirement account set up, I would love to hear about that in the comments below, because I really don't know where to start. I just know that I need to start. So that was all of my September goals. I also had a section that I added called Things I Got Done, which was like not necessarily a written goal, but it was something that I felt like was a good accomplishment for the month. So of the things I got done, I did some landscaping outside on my back patio. I actually planted like flowers all around the edge of the patio and got a lot of stuff in the ground. I'm hoping to get that in the ground and get it established so it will make it through winter and come back next year. The other thing I got done was I put up all of my Halloween decorations. I have a lot of like fall and Halloween things that I scattered around the house just to put me in a mood for the holiday season, and I did that, and that was something that was fun and I really enjoyed it. And of course it puts people in a good mood when they see it when they come over to the house. The other thing I got done was I hosted a game night with my friends. We actually played a game called Trailer Park Wars, and it was a box board game that my mom got from a thrift store, and we wound up getting really into it. We played it for like 2 hours and it was a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed that. I'm really trying to make time to see my friends. I think we're actually going to go to trivia tonight. And you know, as an adult, it is kind of difficult to make time to see all of your friends, but you know, it's something that, like I said, if you make something a priority, you're more likely to get to it. But if you kind of push it off and push it off and push it off, you know, it's easy to go 3 or 6 months without seeing people. So I really try and prioritize my friendships. All right, guys, moving on to the financial section, my budget for the month of September. We're going to go over how much money I spent, what I spent the money on, and different categories. I'm pretty good about tracking my expenses on my bank account. My bank makes it pretty easy by giving me categories to put all the expenses in. So this is just my personal expenses. This is not my business expenses, and I do not have a house payment or anything like that because my house is paid off. So really, I only have, you know, really minor bills overall. So let's just kind of get into what I spent in the month of September. And I actually made a spreadsheet for once. So if you guys want to follow along on that spreadsheet, I'll put it up so we can all take a look at it. All right, so the first category was gas and transportation. I paid $477. I spent $89 on gas. We spent more money on gas because we had a 13-hour road trip and we had to take that trip twice. So quite a bit of money on gas. We split the cost on that, but overall, $89 on gas this month. And then car payments was $388. My car payment is $237, but I made an extra payment towards the principal for $150 because I want to start chipping away to try and get my car paid off in a shorter amount of time. So the next was travel. I spent $373 on my cruise trip. I had to book a hotel. We had to pay like $120 for parking, and I also had some cash that I withdrew to spend while we were on different islands. So overall, $373 went to travel. The next category is medical. I spent $325. Medical has been a big expense for me this year because I've had a lot of health issues since I got into a car accident back in December. I am really hoping to get some of these medical bills reimbursed by the person's insurance company who hit me, but I'm still waiting on that. So I had doctor copays. My copays are $65 every time I see my back pain doctor. I also had to pay for medicine, and then I went and got a new prescription for glasses. I do not have vision insurance, so I paid out of pocket for my new prescription. It was $85 for the office visit, and then I ordered some sunglasses that were prescription sunglasses that were about $40. And in October, I'm going to order myself new glasses with my new prescription. Moving on to groceries, we've got $236. I had Walmart purchases for groceries. I had Amazon where I bought like coffee in bulk. I also bought some supplements. I will say that Daniel usually buys the groceries and pays for utilities, so that's something that I don't have to worry about usually, but sometimes I'll buy groceries if I'm just feeling like I want to go out and buy some stuff. And in this particular scenario, I think I had gone to Walmart maybe once or twice. I think I went to Target and Dollar Tree. Usually when I'm getting stuff, it's just a couple things that we're out of that I feel like we need to grab. So yeah, overall only $236 spent on groceries for the month. Shopping was $160. I bought 2 new bras from Athleta that were having a sale. I also bought 2 swimsuits from Amazon that I wore on my cruise, and I think that they were super cute and well worth it. They're the same style and they're very comfortable. Love that swimsuit. It felt so good wearing it. And I also bought 2 pairs of leggings from eBay. I bought some Athleta leggings that were like gently used, and I feel like I got a good deal on them. I spent about $25 a pair on those, but they're usually about $90 when you buy them from Athleta. So overall, I got 2 pairs of leggings, 2 bras, and 2 swimsuits for $160. It's kind of rare for me to buy clothes. I usually get everything at the thrift store or someplace like TJ Maxx or a discount store. So it's strange for me to buy clothes, but I wanted to get a few things since I was going on that trip. And I do feel like they're things that will be timeless that I will wear again and again. I tend to wear the same clothes a lot. I'm not very stylish, I guess. I just wear what I feel like is comfortable and what I feel like looks good. So overall, the shopping was a little bit higher than normal. The phone was $70 through T-Mobile. I pay every month for that. And then the next category was house expenses, which was $60. I had to pay to get my grass cut, and I also had to get a new remote control. My Fire Stick, for some reason, started getting like really hot, and finally it just gave out and didn't work anymore, so I had to get a new Fire Stick remote. The next category was gifts. I spent $59 for my dad's birthday. My dad is actually in prison, so there's not really a lot of things to get him. I sent him like 4 books this month, and I also sent him some money for his account that he can buy things with. So just a way to, kind of say happy birthday to someone. It's really difficult when they are incarcerated because, there's just not a lot of options. But I did send my dad a gift. I really don't spend a lot of money on gifts. I don't do a lot of Christmas presents. I do. My family plays a game every year, so we've been doing that for about 2 years. And, I just kind of wanted to step away from that expectation that everybody needs to give gifts for birthdays and Christmas. It really does add up over time. And I know that with the current economy, we don't really have money to be doing that. So, and I also feel like it just contributes to a lot of waste, and it's also very performative. So I don't necessarily like the concept of giving gifts just for the sake of giving gifts. So if I give someone something, I want it to be something that I wanted to do intentionally, not something that I felt like I had to do. Next category is alcohol. I spent $29 according to my spreadsheet. I did probably spend a little bit more money than that because some of it was included in my cruise vacation cost that I already accounted for. But it looks like I spent a little bit of money on one of the islands on alcohol. I also spent $27 in the restaurant category, which was food during our road trip. I tried to contribute to that. We went to Steak and Shake. We don't have a Steak and Shake locally. I think the closest one is like an hour and a half away, so we went by there on our way home, and it was really good. Next category is gym, which was $16. That is for Crunch Fitness, my monthly membership that I don't even know how many times I've been in there in September. It wasn't very many times, I'll tell you that. So I really need to get back in there and get back at it. The last category is actually entertainment, and that only thing that I spent was $13 on Hulu. So Hulu is something that I think I'm going to keep, and my mom pays for Netflix, so hopefully we can keep that arrangement going. I spent $1,845 during the month of September. Overall, I think I did really good this month when it comes to spending. I put a little bit of money towards my car on it to make an extra payment, and I also did really good when it comes to travel. We didn't buy a bunch of junk. We didn't spend money on souvenirs and just stuff we didn't need, and overall I feel like we were really reasonable when it came to our trip. And so I think that, going forward into October, I shouldn't have any issues. The biggest thing that I've got to pay in October is going to be probably my property taxes due. If you don't know, if you own a house, you have to pay property taxes once a year. If you have paid your house off, that's typically how it works. If you haven't paid your house off, then you will pay it in your monthly payment. But since I don't have a monthly house payment, the county just sends a bill, and I basically have to go over to the county courthouse and pay that once a year. So if you don't pay it, they will take your house away. So that's a fun thing about adulting. But anyways, that is probably going to be my bigger bill. And I've also gotten some more medical bills in the mail that I just sent off a check for. So I'm not sure if they're going to come out in September or October. but overall those are the only other big expenses that I'm going to account for. I also have my birthday coming up, so I'll probably buy myself something. I don't really know what, because honestly I don't feel like I need anything. It's really a good position to be in when you feel like you have everything you need. Sometimes I'll treat myself with like a massage or a trip to Target, but rarely do I spend more than like $50, so I feel like, I'm pretty reasonable when it comes to spending. Alright guys, we're going to move on to my October goals. So what do I want to accomplish in my birthday month? So the first thing that I set was to continue reading 2 books per month, and I'm going to have to get some new books. I don't have anything in mind, so if you have any book suggestions, please send them my way. I'm really into, biographies, self-help, productivity science, and things that basically can make my life easier just by learning about them. The next goal I have is to renew my county business license. I do have to do that in the month of October. I have to have a county license and a city license, and I just want to remember to renew that, because if not, I'll probably have to pay late fees on it. I think it's like 30 or 40 bucks, but I do have to get that done. The next thing I want to get done is to pay my property taxes. As I just went on a rant about previously, I do have to go over and get that done. I think I can do that in the same day. I'm not sure if it's at the same exact place, but oh, there goes a fire truck, if you guys can hear that. Oh my gosh, it's coming right by the house. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully everyone's okay. But yeah, I want to be able to pay my property tax and renew my business license in the month of October. My next goal that I set for myself was to continue going to therapy. I actually have a therapy appointment tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit about the frequency of therapy. I guess probably I'm going to start going about 3 times a month. The next goal I have for October is to prep for my best friend's wedding, because she is getting married and has asked me to officiate the wedding, and I've never officiated a wedding. I have no idea what to do, but I guess she thought since I'm always making videos and doing this kind of public speaking that I would be okay at the wedding. So I've sort of been preparing for that. I've put together sort of like a 5 to 10 minute ceremony, and overall I feel like I'll do okay. I'll be very nervous, but I'm sure I won't be more nervous than the brides. So overall I am excited to be doing that wedding, but I have to prep for it because it is coming up very soon. My next goal was to start a new rule of having no caffeine after 3 p.m. because I am really bad about drinking coffee late in the day, and then I wonder why I can't sleep and why I can't relax and why I have anxiety, and I really want to stop doing that. In the past, I would drink coffee all day long. I'd have 4, sometimes 5 cups of coffee in a day, and it really took a toll on me mentally, and I did not ever sleep well, and I had really bad just nerves and anxiety attacks, and I've since cut my coffee down to 1 cup in the morning and 1 cup in the afternoon. I find what happens is that I wait too late to have the coffee, and then if I don't drink it, I'll get a headache, so I wind up having to drink it at like 5 o'clock, and then when I go to sleep or I go to lay down at 10 o'clock, the caffeine is still in my system. So I want to be a little bit more aware about what I'm putting in my body and what time of day I'm putting that in there, and just not drinking any extra caffeine past 3 o'clock. My next goal is to create 4 YouTube videos. So I want to continue making content for YouTube because it's something that I really enjoy, and I also want to continue exploring other topics. Most of my videos have been about business, and some of them have been about just things that I've experienced in life, and I found that a lot of my videos that performed well were videos that I didn't necessarily think my audience would love, but people just wanted to know about the subject matter. I'm really wanting to dive down a little bit deeper into things that I know about specifically, and sort of make videos on topics that I think I haven't really touched on yet on this channel, and maybe branch out a little bit and get outside of my comfort zone with these next couple of videos that are coming out. So I was going to set a goal for a couple of things that I wanted to look into or explore, but I don't think I'm going to set that. I think I'm just going to sort of leave it hanging in the air, and if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, I don't. So a couple of things that I wanted to research this month were foster care. So I have thought heavily about doing foster care, specifically respite care, which is when you are basically a weekend home for foster kids. You don't take foster placements, you just let them come over when the foster family needs a break. I don't have space in my house right now to be a foster care parent, and I'm definitely not, in a place where I feel like it's fair for me to ask someone like who lives with me to be a foster care parent either. So it's something that we would need to plan and discuss a little bit more, but I did want to maybe read a book about it or watch a documentary or something like that, because in the back of my mind I feel like that's something that I'm eventually going to do. I feel like I'm called to do it in a way, and I feel like I don't know, it's just a section of my life which I haven't like completely explored, but I feel like it is worth looking into. In addition to that, I wanted to look into getting some kind of like Invisalign for my teeth. Here's my teeth. They're not super crooked, but like they're more crooked than when I got my braces off, and I feel sort of self-conscious about it. So I wanted to look into Invisalign. I know it's probably pretty expensive. I think it's a couple of $1,000s, but I'm not sure if you have to pay it all at once or you pay it gradually. But from my understanding, it's a process that takes about a year to get done. One thing that I've noticed is the bite changes for me, and when I smile, I tend to take my tongue and push it towards the teeth like this. And so every time I smile, I feel like my pictures are like, and it gets on my nerves. So I wanted to work on that. I don't know if that's something that could be fixed, but I actually saw a Facebook post from a girl that I went to school with who had done it, and her teeth looked amazing. And that kind of pushed me to want to look into that, because I really don't want to get braces again. That's just something that I just feel like would be a huge hassle and very expensive, but I wanted to look into Invisalign or something similar like that. So like I said, I don't want to set super big goals for October. It is my birthday month. I would like to relax a little bit. And like I said, I want to focus on alignment. So I guess what I'm talking about when I'm saying that is like, what do I want my life to be? Like, what are my priorities? What do I think that, I need to focus on going forward in the next year of my life? And that's kind of a big question to ask yourself. So being able to sit down and make this type of video and being able to journal about it is very important to me. I think it's important that you take that time with yourself, because a lot of us get caught up in like the day-to-day activities of our life, so much so that we don't realize that we're kind of like wasting our life away. And I don't want to do that by any means. I want my life to be something that I control and something that, is meaningful. I want to be able to give back to my community. I want to be able to, have good relationships with my family and friends, as well as continue to develop myself in the 28th year of my life. All right, guys, the next thing that we're going to be doing is going over my favorites for the month. So favorites are basically just things that I thought were cool, I enjoyed, and I wanted to share with you guys. So the first thing I got was a lanyard for holding my car keys and my room card for the cruise. So I got this lanyard on Amazon. Actually, Daniel ordered them for our cruise, and I put cute little pins all over it. So I got a bunch of pins, and I really enjoyed wearing this on the cruise, so much so that I thought when I come back, I might just use this if I'm going out on a quick errand. My purse is really heavy and I don't always want to carry it. So accidental discovery here. I really love wearing this lanyard. All right, next up is a weird discovery / favorite, and that is vinegar. I know that you're thinking, why are you talking about vinegar, Bella? So I recently got a sea urchin lodged into my foot. I stepped on it while we were on the cruise, and I used vinegar to help dislodge it and help break it apart. And overall, it was a really good method. It helped loosen it enough to where we could dig it out of my skin, which was a really fun Sunday activity for us. But anyways, we got the sea urchin pieces out of my foot with vinegar, and I started looking online at all the different ways that you can use vinegar, because I was like, oh, I know that a lot of people like to clean with it. So I know some people mop with it and some people have like a bathroom cleaner with it. So I started researching like all the many benefits of vinegar, which is a weird thing to go into, but anyways, I wound up making like a cleaning solution out of it as well. So vinegar for the win this month. Really weird, but that is something that I guess was a favorite for me. The next favorite was The Handmaid's Tale. So I am on season 5. I've been watching this show for a long time and I want to see it through. With that being said, I feel like this season has been so slow and lots of staring, lots of close-ups of June's face like always, but I do want to see it through. I would love for them to wrap the show up, because at this point I'm too invested to stop watching it, but it's sort of like I really don't enjoy watching it as much as I used to. It's not as action-packed as it used to be, but I do want to continue watching it and finish it through the end. Next favorite are these dark chocolate espresso beans from Aldi. So these are, oh my gosh, they're so good. We got these, Aldi is having like a German week, so they're having like a lot of different food this week. So we got those and we are really enjoying those. I haven't had them in a while, and it's a good snack because you really can't eat that many of them. They're dark chocolate and they're kind of like, you know, the texture is not something that you want to keep eating, so I'm really enjoying those. Wrapping up, I wanted to say that I feel like September was a good month for me overall. Like I said, I would give myself a B. Moving forward into October, I want to give myself time to explore some new concepts. I noticed when I took the vacation, we had about 9 days off, and when I came back, I had a lot of room for creativity in areas that I haven't explored in a while. I felt like being away from my normal life and being away from all the things that I have to do gave me a little bit of extra, you know, space in my mind to focus on other things. So I want to give myself more downtime and more quiet time and more time away from my phone, away from the internet, away from the pressures of society, and just kind of let myself breathe a little bit and let myself kind of see what Bella wants to do and what I feel called to do. So I'm going to give myself some space this month and hope to do that. I hope that you guys enjoyed everything. I wanted to look at my goals and my budget and my favorites because I feel like, you know, it's kind of fun to look back on those things after a year or two passes by on what I was doing, and this whole entire YouTube channel is just basically a big scrapbook of my life. So I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, you can always give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I will continue making updates for all the things that I am working on. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I will catch you in the next video.